Fine. So yesterday we have seen functions and different types of functions, right? So yeah, now yeah, we have also seen like different rules, okay, different kinds, like what type of parameter we have seen, keyword we have seen, next default we have seen, variable length we have seen, and quarks we have seen, right? And we have seen the order and some rules, right, in defining. Okay, so with that, I hope you are a little bit comfortable with that now, right? So let's try to, okay, uh, see some examples. Okay, now for example, let's say, okay, I want you guys to answer these. Now if I say, um, I'm creating a simple function called as define function, okay, a1, a2, a3, a4. Okay, so now I want to print a1, a2, a3, and a4. Okay, so okay, fine. So firstly, okay, guys, if you can unmute yourself, or if you want to put it in the chat, that's your wish. But uh, I would like to hear some answers. Okay, so just to know like how well you understood the concept. Fine. So now if I say f of some 100 comma 200, so what will be the answer? First of all, is it valid? And if valid, then what will be the answer? Mm, make it a bit fast, guys. We have some other things to continue.
100 to
Or if you
100.
don't want this, no, if you don't want this like question answer sessions, so you can tell me. I will skip that. If you are feeling, if you don't want to answer, or if you want to skip this session, that's completely fine. We can go to other session. Or if you want, we can have few questions seen over this so that you will have, better understanding. Okay, yeah, shall we have this, or do you want to skip? Okay, tell me guys, what will be the answer for this? Am I audible? Karthik, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, Santosh.
Okay,
Yeah,
as I said, no, as I said, to tell the answers or to put in the chat, guys. So I cannot repeat multiple times, right? Sirisha, why are not putting in the chat? I can't call names every time, right? As I said, if you don't want this session, I will skip this session. That's fine. Or if you want, you can answer. Okay, but don't be silent. That's what I'm saying. Okay, fine.
100 to 100. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, fine. So now f of
200, 300.
Mm. Okay. Mm.
But 25, 50, 10, 100.
Yes, sir. 25.
Got this?
Think we'll get error.
Three, 4, 10, 2.
Yeah. Tell me now this one. This one.
40, 30, 10, 20.
Okay. Just this.
Error. It will expect positional parameters.
Okay.
Positional
Errors.
parameters followed by keyword parameters.
Okay.
Multiple A2. A2 repeated twice.
Okay.
Don't have.
If I not defined.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So those are the different cases which you can see. Let me know if you did not understand any this function, or I think you are good with these functions. Okay, fine. So after that, so once we are good with this, right, so next we are going to yeah, so I think we can solve like different types of problems, right? So I'll also try to show you a few examples tomorrow, right? So we'll see the next topic. So next thing what we have over here is we have, but initially you have functions, modules, okay, and library. Okay, so you have these three things. Okay, but what these are, what? Okay, so group of function. Okay, module. Okay, okay, so so what the group of lines, what are the lines you are writing, so those are nothing but function. If you write group of functions, that become a module, and group of modules will become a library, right? So module, so in, let's say you are having um, different type of module. So we have used math module, right? So we'll also see that. So we have used math module. From math we have used square root, or we have used what, uh, a row, what was that, seal, floor, we have seen, right, in the first or second class of this course, right? So now math is a module. So each of these is a function, right? For square root they have written a function, for seal value they have written a function, for floor they have written a function, right? But math is a module. So math is a module, and what is that module is nothing but a group of functions. Okay, inside that each of these you will have a functions, different functions combined together will create a module. And like this, if you have different modules, right, so like this, if you have different modules, right, for example, when you are learning machine learning, right, you will see you have a library called as sklearn. Okay, in that sklearn you have different modules. For example, you have a module called as pre-processing. Okay, pre-processing. Okay, and next you have a module called as metrics. Okay, and inside this pre-processing again you have separate uh, different function called as train test split. Okay, train test split. Okay, inside this matrix you again have something called as accuracy score. Okay, accuracy score, right? Inside this train split, what you have a just group of lines. Okay, inside this you have what, you have just a group of lines. That means code. Okay, inside this accuracy score you have these lines of code. Okay, so these lines of code will create this function called as accuracy score, and here also these lines of code will create this function called as train test split. Okay, and all different kinds of functions like this. Okay, train test split, some other function, all this will create a module called as pre-processing. Okay, similarly here also accuracy score, mean, median score, different type of scores. Okay, that means different types of functions will create a module called as metrics. Okay, and different type of modules like pre-processing, okay, metrics, and some other modules will combine together to form a library. Okay, so these are actual the code we are writing. Okay, so and this accuracy score will become a function. Okay, and this metrics will become a module. Okay, and this sklearn will become a library. Okay, so ultimately it's just grouping different lines of code, okay, at different levels. Okay, so at most high level you have a library. Okay, that's why when you say library, it will consist of different modules. Okay, fine. So we'll see when you are actually using machine learning, right? So we'll have a better understanding. Fine. So that's the I would say one of the theory about the functions. Fine. Next, we are actually going to see something called as lambda function. Okay, so lambda function, what is the importance of lambda function? We'll try to understand. Right now, lambda function. Okay, see, lambda functions are actually very important functions because you use them lot of time. Okay, in while you're working on pandas, right? Okay, when you are working on data sets, right? So there you use lambda functions few times for sure. Now what is a lambda function is, it is also called anonymous function. Okay, now now let's try to understand what is the need for this function, right? See, till now what we have done, we have written a function, that should have a name. Okay, that will have some body and it is returning something. Okay, this is the proper syntax we have followed. Okay, but many times, okay, so you will come across a need, right, where you there is a very small part of code you want to repeat. Okay, see, what is the use of this function? The purpose of any function is code reusability, right? You want to use the same lines of code multiple times. Okay, that's fine, but sometimes you might to perform a small single line of code. Okay, you want to perform a, you reuse a single line of code or just two lines of code. Okay, or you want to execute a small expression, fine, but you don't want to take the effort of, okay, creating this function definition and following the complete syntax. Okay, you just want to fast track it. Okay, you just want to, for time being, okay, you just want to save some time and just want to use that line of code, let's say for 5 to 6 variables. Okay, and then forget about that function. You don't want to again, okay, use that function. Okay, it's just for the time being. So here if you do that, right, so you are actually using space in the memory location, right? Some variables you are creating. Okay, all that thing is happening over here when you actually create a function like this. Okay, this is fine. So whenever you want to, actually create this function and use this function in multiple uh, places of the code, right, in multiple positions of the code, so you can go for the standard function. Okay, but as I said, for example, you have a column. Okay, so the practical example I will tell you where I have used and where you can use lambda function. Okay, you have a data set. Okay, and we are having different columns, c1, c2, c3. Okay, and now let's say in this c1, c2, c3, you are having c2 is a salary, c2 is a salary column. Okay, where you are having salary like okay, just for example 50.02, okay, 61.35. Okay, you are having decimal format. Okay, now you want to convert this column into integer format. That means you want to trim down this decimals. Okay, trim down the decimals. That is a task. Okay, now to do this, there are two ways. One is you can write a standard function where you can create a function. Okay, and then you can pass this column and return something. You can do all those things. Okay, but this function I'm not going to use it in any other place in the complete code, right? This is only for this purpose. Okay, after that I don't want to use this at all. So for that scenario, why to actually, waste the memory and space and create some variables? Okay, storage issues you might face, right? So that's the reason we have this person called as lambda function. Okay, who is also called anonymous function because he's not having any name. Okay, so lambda functions are those functions where they will just come into picture, do some task, and they will disappear. Okay, they will not have any name or any standard declaration. Okay, so one way, as I said, to do this, to achieve this goal, one way is to go for a standard function, or you can just use this lambda function. Okay, we'll see how you can do that. You can just use this lambda function, pass this column. Okay, pass this column. Okay, convert from decimal to integer. Okay, do some typecasting and replace the values over here and done. That's it. And once this is executed, after that you don't need to use this function. Okay, this will not have any validity. Okay, this is having only in this particular line of code. Okay, so you don't need to define any name. Okay, you don't need to use a define def keyword. You don't need to use a return keyword or no, nothing, no name, nothing. Okay, but you will achieve the same goal. You will get the same answer, you will get the same result. Okay, so it's just fast tracking the your need. Okay, it's in the on the spot you are using a small function. Okay, and then achieving your goal and leaving that and going forward. Okay, so that is the use of lambda function. Fine. So that's why it's called anonymous function, because you want to use it just for the time being. It's not for the complete code. Okay, so that's the reason the from where you are getting the need for the lambda function, because sometimes you can declare a function without any name. Okay, without any name, so that those type of functions are called lambda or anonymous functions. Okay, so and main purpose is just for the time being. Okay, first thing is here you can declare a function without any name. Okay, and second thing is these functions are used for instant use. Okay, that is one time usage, just like use and throw functions. Okay, you're not throw, but it's like that. Okay, so we will see the so this is a theory, so we will see the a few examples so that you will understand. Fine. So hey, where is Sirisha? My God, just no Sirisha. Okay, fine. Hey Sirisha, what happened? Mm. Are you there when I was explaining about the lambda function?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine. See, now we'll see. First is normally to for a for let's say you want to go for a square root. Okay, what you can do, you can go for okay some square root. I'm defining a function square root of n. Okay, and then you can say return n into n. Okay, and now I can do okay, it returns 25. Right, this is normal function. You can use the same thing, you can use the same thing using lambda. Okay, you see when I write the lambda, it is changing into green color. So using lambda also you can use this. Okay, so now how to use this is a syntax of lambda. Okay, but how to use lambda we will see with some examples. Okay, so now let's say this is our lambda function. Okay, and now I'm saying s of 4. Okay, see how you are getting same thing you are getting. Instead of here you are defining a square root function, you are returning something and then you are passing the square root. Or you can use the lambda function, just give whatever you want to do and put it into s, and s of 5, this 5, when you say s of 5, this gets automatically passed to this n. Okay, and you're getting the value. You see how simple it became. Okay, a small function, you don't need to for this just getting a square, you don't need to actually you don't feel like declaring a function and following all the syntax, right? It's just like fast track, like popcorn. Just 2 minutes you will use this function and that's it, you will achieve the purpose. That's all. You're not going to write you know a long functions or where you are declaring multiple variables. This will not work in that scenarios. Okay, this is going to work just for one time usage sort of code. Okay, so like that. So okay, uh Are you guys good? Are you able to understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there is one point, important point you need to understand with the lambda function. Okay, we'll see many examples, but always remember lambda function. Okay, these are the variables, right? So okay, fine, let me just give you another example, then I will tell you. Okay, for example, let's say L lambda equal to, let me say a comma b, a plus b. Okay, this is my lambda function. Fine, what I'm doing, sum of two numbers. Okay, instead of writing this, just create a lambda. I'm saying to, it's very simple. Lambda, two variables I'm using, and this is the expression I want to execute. Okay. Now, sum is, I can say, L of 10, 20. Okay, you got 30. Fine. So to this L, you can pass directly to this L, to the variable we are passing. See the way how you are passing directly, you can pass some variables, so which will automatically give it to them. Okay. For example, if I just pass this, okay, one required position argument is missing. Fine. So if I pass this, okay, you have given more. Okay, fine, same concepts of functions which you have studied will apply over here. Okay, but now one important point, guys. To lambda function, these are variables. Okay, these are variables, this is expression. Okay, so point here is, for lambda functions you can use any variables. Okay, you can use any number of variables, but ultimately all that should be used in only one expression. Okay, all that should be used in one expression. Okay, so you can use a comma b comma c, any number of you, okay, you can use, but ultimately you should go with, it's okay, you can say a plus b minus c into a, what all you can do. Okay, but you should use everything into one expression. Okay, so that is the purpose of and the usage of lambda function. Okay, and for example, let's say if you are having something like s equal to, you remember we have written functions to find out the biggest of two numbers, smallest of two numbers, right? So here you can simply say, okay, here you can simply say L is equal to lambda. Okay, and you can say a comma b. Okay, here this is expression, right? So you need to write only one expression. Okay, so here you can write, you can see here, you can directly write, if a is greater than b, okay, come here, give a, okay, else give b. Okay, see lambda function before colon. Okay, see, always remember lambda, there are only three simple parts. One is lambda keyword, second thing is colon. Okay, third thing is before colon you will write variables, after colon you will write expression. That's it. Only if you follow these three simple rules, that's it. Just use a lambda keyword. After that, you will, before colon, okay, you will have a colon. Okay, before colon you will have the variables. Okay, what all variables you want to use those. After colon, what all expression you want to create, whether you want to create a mathematical expression, whether you want to create if else expression, okay, whether you want to use a simple any other print statement, what all you want to do, give that expression after colon. Okay, that's it, nothing fancy over here. Okay, so now after using this, you can just say L of some minus 8 comma 4. Okay, so it's getting see, if a is greater than b, it will print a. Okay, else it will print b. Okay, so now L of 100 comma 20. Okay, you got 100. Fine, getting, guys?
Yes, Santosh.
Okay, and as I said, you don't need to write return explicitly. Okay, it will automatically return. Okay, normally any function will not return without using the return value, right? So any function will not return. As you can see, if you remember yesterday's example, when I see this function, okay, so if it is not returning anything, so I am saying print of n into n, okay, and I'm not returning anything, still you will get the answer, okay. But if I do plus 10, what I will get? What I will get, guys?
Give error.
Give you error, okay, because this is not returning anything, okay. This is just printing this value, okay. This is, you have none type. Cool. Similarly, but if I return something, if I return something, obviously it will add 25 plus 10, 35. Similarly, if I come here, I'm not using any return function over here, okay. See, I'm not using any return function, okay. This value what I'm getting, I'm not using return. But if I still do some 100, you will get the value 200, because that is a, okay, I would say the usage of, or the advantage of using Lambda function. Okay, you don't need to write. See, what is the name of this function? Nothing. What is the name? Lambda. Just the keyword. What is the name of this function? Nothing. Just Lambda. What is this returning? Obviously, returning this value. But did I use return value? No. Did I use def define word? No. Did I use any name of the function? No. Same thing here. Nothing. But still, it can return the value without returning also. Okay. So that is inbuilt. So how I'm proving that? So this value will be 100. I'm adding one more 100, so it's getting 200. How it will get 200? Only if this is having 100, then only it will add 100, right? Or otherwise you'll get an error, just like above. So return function, all these are not required for Lambda function. You can just create the Lambda function. How? Just use two variables, colon, okay, and give what all expression you want to use that, okay. And sometimes, okay, see the actual, so this, I think this, you are good with the basic Lambda function, right? But with this, right, so the best usage of Lambda function is actually in some built-in functions, okay. Those are you will map, reduce, map, filter, reduce, I would say, okay. Map, filter, reduce, okay. These are the three built-in functions in Python, okay. These are the three built-in functions in Python, okay. So where it will, see, always see, this is important. So these three are built-in functions in, hey, whatever, man. Just a second. Yeah, Karthik, are you good?
Yeah, yeah, continues.
Okay, okay, fine. So after this Lambda functions, right, so you have something called as map, filter, reduce, okay. So here in map, filter, reduce, all these three functions expect two things. Expect one, sequence, two, function, okay. So all these map, filter, reduce, these are built-in functions, okay. They again expect two things to execute. See, map will do some execution, okay. We'll see what it will do. See, map will do some execution, filter will do some execution, reduce will do some execution on a given sequence. What is sequence? Let's say you are given 1 2 3, like that, you are given 100. This map will perform some operation, filter some operation, reduce will perform some operation, okay. But to perform this operation, all of these require a sequence, okay, and a function. What is sequence? This is sequence, this is sequence. But what is function? Instead of writing the whole function, you can use a Lambda function over here, okay. Lambda functions use perfect place, okay, in map, filter, reduce, okay. Over here you can use this, okay. How you are using, how you can use, we will see now, okay. So first we will see the map function, okay. So in map function, what happens is, see all this, what they're doing. So for each and every element in the sequence, they will apply some functionality, okay, and they will generate new values, okay. So for example, we are having map, right? So map, what it will take, map will take two things. As I said, it will take a function, okay, and it will take a sequence, okay. It will take a function and it will take a sequence. Two things you will be giving, so that for each and every sequence, that particular function will be, particular function will be applied. Getting, guys? See, I'll show an example so that you will understand. For example, you want to just as a simple example, you want to double the given number. Okay, let's say I'm having L equal to 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and to double this number, what I can do, I can create a function called as uh, double number. I'm saying, okay, I'm giving x return double 2 into x, correct? Getting is, so now here what you can do, L1, okay, is equal to list of map of, okay, I'm saying double number comma L. Okay, so now, so this is what, as I said, see, as I said, map function will expect two things. One is, map function will expect two things. One is function, another thing is sequence. Okay, now this is without lambda function we are saying. Okay, this is without lambda. Okay, without lambda, if I want to double, okay, if I want to double the number, double the each number in this sequence, what I'm doing, so I'm saying, I'm putting everything into a list. I'm saying using map, okay, using map, you can simply passing the function called as double function, and you are passing the list, okay, L. That means what, now to this L, this L will be this number, and each number will be passed to this function. Okay, one will be passed from this. Now this is 1 2 3 4 5, right? First one will be passed. Okay, and that one will go here x, and that will be 2. Next 2 will be passed, it will go here 4. Okay, 3 will be passed. Okay, like that each number from this sequence will be passed to this function, and then it will be passed to the this execution. Okay, now if I print L1, you got 2 4 6 8 10. Okay, this is simple without lambda function. How you can do same thing with lambda function? Okay, so if you do, right, so what I can do is L1 equal to list of, okay, just map of, right? So instead of creating a function, so I can just say lambda x 2 into x. Okay, function is done, right? And after that, what I can do, just give L. Okay, function is done and a sequence is done. Now if I print L1, you will get the same value. Okay, see, here I don't want to use any function at all. Okay, directly a map, you can do both the ways, but what you want to follow, as I said, for these three functions, map, filter, reduce, definitely one function you should give and sequence you should give. Okay, sequence you should give. Here lambda is a function, L is a sequence. Here double num is a function, L is a sequence. Okay, but here instead of creating a separate function called as double num and doing all this, I can just do in the at instantly create a function, small function lambda x equal to 2 into x. Okay, and L, same thing here. Each time 1 will be passed to this x, now 2 into x, value 2. 2 will be passed 2 to the 4. Okay, 6 8 10 directly without doing anything, without any written word, everything, anything, it will just pass and execute, and it will put everything into the list, and you are getting the value. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, so yeah, so that is a with the map. So and if I, let's say you have 1 2 3 4. Okay, and let's say L2 equal to 2 3 4 5. Okay, map, what does map is, now L3 equal to, okay, list of, I'm saying map of, okay, if you multiply these two list, okay, what I'm doing, lambda function of, I want to multiply L1 and L2. That means what, two variables I will be using, that means x and y, two variables. Okay, colon and x into y, right? And simply pass L1 comma L2, right? That's it. See, x comma y, L1 comma L2. See, it's multiplying first element with this first element of element wise multiplication, 2 6 12 20. Isn't it simple, guys? because to do the same thing, you can do with functions also. Okay, or you can do with the loop also. Okay, you can do with the loop for I in L1, for I in L2, multiply these two values, you can use with that. Or you can create as another function. Okay, you can create a separate function, define of multiplication, and you can pass one value from here to one value from here to this function and get the value, right? The different ways, but the most simple is lambda function. What we have done, just created a function on the spot, creating two variables, multiplying this value, just create, done, and just pass L1 and L2. That's it. Lambda will take care of anything. It will take first element from this, first element from this, pass to x and y, multiply, and it will also put it into list. Same thing. Second element list directly. Okay. So map will do that. Okay. So map what will map do? Given a list of sequence, it will try to give a new list. Okay, give a new list with some operation happening on them. Okay, given a list, it will perform some operation and it will give you a new list. Okay, so that is how you can use map with the lambda. Okay, did you guys understand map with lambda? Let me know if you did not understand. Okay, I hope you understood. Okay, fine. Now coming to filter also same thing. So as I said, filter also will expect two things. One is function and second thing is sequence. Okay, same thing. Now filter is used to actually filter out some values from the given sequence. Okay, see, map will do what? Given a sequence of numbers a b c, it will map these numbers to a new numbers. Okay, a will become something, b will become something, c will become something. That means it can become a square root. A can become square root, b it can, you can find out the square root, right? Or you can multiply with 100. You can do some operations on that so that these numbers will no longer be available. Okay, this will be changed to map to some other number. Okay, so as I said, you can also map the decimal, whatever in the previous example when I was saying in column 2 you're having all float numbers, right? You can use a map function and just do some typecasting and then come back so that all these numbers will be changed to integer. Okay, that will be use of map function. Okay, the name, as per name, it is mapping the given number to some other number. Coming to filter, what it will do, from the given sequence a b c d, whatever you are giving. Okay, based upon certain condition, whatever function you want to perform, it will filter out the values from this sequence. That means you will get a filtered values from this sequence. Okay, these will not be changed to some other numbers. You will get, if there are 10, whatever values from these 10 variables, what all variables that are actually matching to this function, that will be filtered and you will get a new list. Okay, that you will see, that is actual function of filter. Okay, first you should understand what is actual purpose of filter. Okay, it will filter down the list. Okay, from the given list, tell me what all the numbers are matching to my function, to my requirement. Okay, give me only those. Okay, that is the purpose of filter. Now how to execute filter? Using simple function and a sequence, right? So for example, my concept is filter program to filter only, let's say, even numbers or odd numbers. Okay, something like that. Okay, using filter. Okay, you can do this. See, since you are learning different concepts, you can apply different things. You can simply go by if, you can simply go by for. Okay, this is just you are learning different concepts. You can apply anything, but always go for the simplest and easiest one. Okay, first, if you want to filter a given sequence. Okay, for example, we have given L equal to some okay, now this is my L. And first let's see, without lambda how I can filter. Okay, how I can filter only even numbers. Okay, only even numbers, right, from this, with using filter. Okay, but not lambda. Okay, without lambda, but using filter. Okay, filter function. Okay, now what I need to do without using lambda? Now filter will expect what? Two things. One is function and another one is sequence, right? Now what is a function? So I need to create a function called as define, I want to check even. I'm writing some function, any name I can give. Okay, inside that I'm giving x. Okay, after that, if x, same thing, right? If x is you are well aware with this, right? So is equal to 0, then what we are going to do, return, I'll return something true. Okay, or else I'll return what, false. Okay, now what I will do, so this is my function and this is my L, and my L1 equal to, I'll say list of, now filter. Okay, filter. See, the way how to use filter is obviously simple. Two things you need to give for any map filter reduce: function, sequence. For filter, what function I need to give? Check even function is a function I need to give, comma, my sequence is L. Okay, filter, function, and sequence. Function, what is my function? I've written a separate function because this is without lambda. Without lambda, what is the option? You need to go for a standard function. Okay, I'm using that. This is a function, and to which list I should apply this function? To this sequence. Okay, so this is my sequence L. Clear? So now if I do L1, see, what are the even numbers from these? 0, 10, 20, 30. You got this? Same thing. Each value from this sequence will be passed to the function, and you will, wherever it is true, it will take only those values. Okay. Is it clear without lambda?
Yes, Santosh.
You're following, right? Okay. Okay. But now we will see with lambda. Okay. Same thing. If you see with lambda, okay. So same sequence. Okay. I'm taking L, right? And what I will do, you can just see now, to print, to check for even function, you need to write separate function. Again, here without using lambda, if I want to go for a or function, you might need to again write separate function for or. Okay, but lambda is very helpful. Okay, what you can do, I will just simply say, hey, list of functions, filter, just directly go in single line of code. You can just write filter. Okay, filter is a function I'm using, and inside that, what I'm doing, it will expect two things. Whenever you see map, reduce, or filter, right, the two things should strike in your mind. It will accept function, next it will accept sequence. That's it. So filter, the moment I write filter, I write a function, I want to use lambda. Okay, just lambda. Okay, inside that, what is a expression I want to use? Only one single variable I'm passing. Okay, if x, okay, percentage 2 equal to 0. Okay, that's it. This is the function I want to do. Nothing. You just need to tell what you want to do. Okay, don't tell anything else to lambda. That's it. And you just pass the sequence. That's it. L1, got it. 0, 10, 12, nothing. No need of all this lengthy code. Simple, in single line you got the value. L you are passing, got. And same thing. See, same thing. If I want to see, let me write it as LE for even. Okay, L odd. Okay. Now see, if I go for odd, simply just say not equal to, that's it. Print L E even and print L odd. Okay, see, even numbers, odd numbers in one single line of code. Have you got using a lambda function? Otherwise, you need to write again one more function, define that function. Okay, simple. In one single line itself you can. So that's why, this actually, this will be very helpful. See, whenever you are learning this, right, always try to correlate where you are going to use this. You're not learning lambda, you're not learning function just to work on the small examples. All this will be useful in machine learning. All this will be using in your statistics, mainly in your EDA. Okay, EDA pre-processing, right? Because any person, whether you are a data scientist or a data analyst or machine learning engineer, anybody, right, whoever is working on these algorithms on data sets, they will mostly spend their time on EDA or pre-processing or feature engineering. Okay, but mostly it will be data cleaning. In high level, if I say data cleaning process, okay, because the data will always be in different shape and form, and you want to convert, you will spend so much energy over here. You will play with data frames, right? There will be different columns. Okay, some columns will, as I said, some columns will be in decimal format, some columns will be having null values, some columns will be having some categorical variables, right? So each column you should take from a complete data set, right? If you're having 10 columns, you will focus so much time on each column, trying to understand its nature, right? There, what you will do, you will access that column over here, and you can just perform instead of now what is this L is sequence. In later classes this L will become one column, right? C1, now L will become this C1, right? And inside this now you're, that means what, you are passing each and value from this column, right? If you have 1 lakh rows, so each and every time you are passing one row to this L will become that, and you will be passing that each and every time, and you are doing some operation, right? So that will be the purpose. You should see in the long term, that will be the purpose. In single line of code you can completely change a column of a data frame. Okay, so that is a use of this Lambda function, right? But yeah, that comes later. But first you should be comfortable with the concept, right? So are you good with filter functions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So after that you have something called as reduce. Okay, now what does reduce will do? Reduce, okay, reduce function. Okay, fine. See, reduce will reduce the all given numbers, okay, into one number. Okay, see, what it will do, it will reduces sequence of elements into single element, okay, by applying some function. Okay, again, what does reduce will take? Two things. What are those? Function and sequence. Okay, that's it. Okay, and fine. So fine, let's see. Now I'm having some L equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay, and my L1 equal to reduce of lambda. Okay, x comma y, I want to do x plus y of L. Okay, no, L1. Okay, reduce is not defined. Okay, actually, just for reduce, right? Reduce will be present in another module. Okay, that is called func tools. Okay, from function tools, shortcut is func tools. Okay, import, you can use reduce or you can import all. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, just reduce is not available openly, so it is kept inside this func tools. Okay, so once you do this, this will be available. Okay, so now if you see what I'm doing, see, reduce will reduce the complete given sentence into one element. Okay, that is reducing everything into one. Okay, so now you can get a clear picture. I will show you the examples of reduce, but just to for your better understanding what is happening: map, filter, reduce, right? So here, given a sequence 1 2 3, this will be changed to new sequences. Okay, you can use square root, you can apply some, you're mapping this to some other number. Okay, let's say 2 4 6, you are mapping this to new number. Okay, the complete set will be changed. Okay, but coming to filter, given a sequence based upon a condition, you are going to filter down these numbers. Okay, let's say your value will be, let's say 1 and 2. Okay, you just want to, let's say your condition is to find out all the numbers less than 3. So you're filtering from the answer will be from the given sequence only. From given sequence only you will have a filtered number of elements. Okay, but here it will be mapped to each and every element, a new function will be applied and that will be changed. Okay, now coming to reduce, given a sequence, okay, given a sequence, it will try to reduce all these into one single element. Okay, one single element based upon some function. Okay, so that's why, as the names are suggesting, map is mapping to new elements, filter is filtering down from the given sequence only, reduce is reducing the complete thing into one element based upon certain expression or function. Okay, uh, good guys, there should be no doubts going forward on when to use map, filter, reduce. Okay, why I'm saying is you will come across scenarios where you should go for map, filter or reduce, right? If you want to just filter down on the given sequence, you should just use filter, or if you want to completely reduce to some element, reduce, or you will use map, right? I hope you are good with the basic understanding of map, filter, reduce. Okay, now coming to reduce, so what you're doing, so here coming to reduce, main thing you need to understand is reduce, you need to import it from func tools. After that, same thing, function, and sequence it expects. Okay, now function, so what it will do, this function you are passing x and y. That means what, even though you are using one list, you are passing it two things. That means every time it will take one element. So for 10 it will add to 20. Okay, to the 20 it will add 30. Okay, so like that it will keep on adding all these numbers, and finally you are getting the sequence into one element. Okay, that means it is reducing the complete sequence into one element, it will reduce. And here the function which we are using is the, what we are using is a sum of the numbers. Okay, getting this? Or you want to use, for example, or you want to go for let's say into, right? Okay, so that is a multiplication of those numbers. Agree, guys? And you can also, you can also use this into with the range function also. Okay, for example, if you have reduce lambda x and y, okay, and you want to multiply each value. Okay, see, in this, in the place of sequence, you can also give range also, right? Range is also sequence, guys. Okay, I want to do from 1 to 10. Okay, so see, to find out some of first 10 numbers, there are different ways, right? Loop, directly writing, or list comprehension, right? Different ways we have discussed. One more way is this, right? Where you want to find out the sum of all these numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, this is a sequence. Fundamental, again, same thing, function, sequence. In place of sequence, I'm using range. Okay, from 1 to 10. That means what? This will be 1 to 9, right? So all these numbers we are passing over here, and each value, two values at a time will be passed over here, and the result will be added continuously, and you can get the sum of these numbers. Okay, 45. Okay, so 1 to 10 will be 55. Okay, you are reducing the complete numbers given sequence into single number. Okay, is that fine, guys? Okay, have you understood like what is a lambda function and where all you can use a lambda function? Okay, so you can use, see, you can use lambda functions without this map reduce filter also, just in case it is you are getting mixed concept, mixed up. So lambda functions are, they're separate, right? They're simple instant functions, you can directly just go and use them anywhere. Okay, just one time usage. Okay, but best place to use is in map filter reduce. Okay, now these are independent of each other. Okay, lambda you can use without map filter reduce also, map filter reduce also you can use without lambda. Okay, simply you want to like write a single line of function, you can just use lambda and get that answer, that's fine. With map filter reduce also you can go for individual functions. As I said, we are defining individual functions, right? And you can uh, use that, because all of these three, what it will expect, I'm again repeating, it will just expect two things. One is function, second thing is sequence. Okay, so this function need not be necessarily lambda function always, you can go for individual functions. Okay, and pass each and every value giving this sequence. Okay, but mostly we will go for lambda functions because it is very simple to use. Okay, so the perfect combination is you can use a lambda with map filter reduce. Okay, so that is a perfect combination, but don't think these are always mandatory. Lambda can exist independently, all these three can exist independently, right? But you can use them for a better usage of the code, right? And map is to map, filter is to filter, reduce is to reduce to single element. Fine. So I hope this small concept, but important concept you will see when you are studying machine learning, right? But I think, yeah, I think we are good with the concepts, right? Any doubts, guys, or are we good? Do you think?
No, Santosh. No.
Okay. Looks good. Fine. So I would say that's all for today. So tomorrow we'll be covering, yeah. So tomorrow we'll be covering what? Yeah. So we are going to see something called as global local keywords. Okay, so like how you can define variables, these are important. Okay, and then we are going to see some nested functions. Okay, nested function and something called as recursive function. Okay, we're going to see nested function and recursive function, And then after that, you are going to see some modules, inbuilt modules in Python, and also how something called as packages, okay, in Python. Okay, there are like just three or four concepts left before completing major part of the Python. After that, then this is actually the Python is divided into two parts. Okay, one is like basic, one is called as advanced. Okay, so with the completion of these concepts, right, so once we complete these, like the global nested functions, modules, packages, sort of things, so we will be completing the basic Python. Okay, then we will enter the advanced Python, so where you will have oops, okay, mainly oops, and then you have something called as generator, okay, and iterator, okay, or and then you have file handling, okay, try except exception handling, okay, and then you have something called as assertions, okay, and then you have something called as logging. Okay, small concepts, but yeah, so we'll try to conclude. Okay, so let's fast track our classes, guys, because we again have different modules like statistics, machine learning to cover, right? So, and Meghana, is it okay for you for Saturday classes? And Karthik, you also let me know.
Yes, sir, it is okay for us.
Fine, Santosh.
Okay, perfect. Right. So then we will take classes on Saturday also, so that we will have we can cover in more concepts. Right. So yeah, goal is to cover these things sooner. Okay, but then because programming language is fine, guys, you can practice and that should not be any difficulty. Right. So we'll close this. Yeah, we'll not skip any concept, but we'll try to close this as soon as possible, and then we'll enter statistics. Okay, so from tomorrow we'll do one thing. Okay, so join sharply at 6:30, right? I'll also join shortly, so let's not waste any time. So we'll start exactly at 6:30. Okay, so those who don't join, it's a loss for them. If they want to go through the sessions, it's their wish. Okay, so otherwise we are losing like 10 minutes of time, right? So from tomorrow we'll join class starts sharply at 6:30. Okay,
Okay, sir.
sounds good. Okay, thanks guys, let's meet tomorrow.